What's going on, Dodgers Nation? Doug McCain here. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMAC_LA. I know it was a rough week last week. We have a lot to get into in this one. But first, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you want to see even more Dodgers content, smash that like button. And as always, I want all your fire takes down below in the comment section. And for today's Dodgers Nation question of the day, I have two of them. One, who deserves the most blame for the series loss against the Padres? Is it the cold Dodgers offense? Is it the bullpen? Was it Dave Roberts' managerial decisions? I want your takes down below in the comment section. And also, do you have an issue with Fernando Tatis Jr.'s antics? How do you feel about him peaking? Do you consider it cheating? Let me know down below in the comment section. And for all the latest Dodgers news, head over to DodgersNation.com. Very frustrating series for the Dodgers. They lose 3 out of 4 to San Diego. They still have the best record in baseball. They're still on top of the NL West by a game over the San Francisco Giants, but a very frustrating series nonetheless. The bats were ice cold. The bullpen wasn't getting it done, and last night they blow a 6-run lead. The first time the Dodgers have blown a 6-run lead since 2011. It was all the way back on August 10th, 2011. Who could forget the time that Chad Billingsley, Hanshi Kuo, and Blake Hawksworth blew a 9-2 lead to the Phillies. But I'm going to give you my biggest takeaways from the series, and I'm going to tell you what the Dodgers need to do to avoid losing the division to the Padres. They're still in first place. I still feel really good about the Dodgers, but there are some things to be concerned about, and the first thing is those ice-cold bats. For the series, LA averaged just under 4 runs per game. This year against San Diego, they're slashing 224, 299, 344 with a 29.6% K percentage, and yesterday they just couldn't take advantage of opportunities. LA was just 3 for 17 with runners in scoring position. For the series, just 8 for 43. 18 runners left on base last night. They had so many opportunities with the bases loaded, could not cash in, and it starts with the top of that Dodgers lineup. Mookie went 3 for 18 in this series with a double, 5 strikeouts, 2 walks. Corey Seager, he goes 4 for 20 with a triple, 4 RBIs, 5 strikeouts, and 2 walks. Justin Turner, 3 for 15. Max Muncy, 1 for 9. So the top 4 in the order, they combined to go 11 for 62 for 177 with a grand total of 2 extra base hits. That's not going to get it done, especially when you got a guy on the other side, Fernando Tatis Jr., who gets 5 home runs in this series. He ended up going 8 for 18. Trent Grisham, he goes 5 for 18. Eric Hosmer, 5 for 15. Manny Machado was able to get 4 hits and 2 big RBIs. So it starts at the top, and the top of this Dodgers lineup has to bring it like the top of this Padres lineup did this past weekend. And I do think that Mookie's going to get it going. He's so important as the catalyst for this Dodgers offense, but he's going through a little bit of a slump right now, and I'm not making excuses for the guy, but he did have that back injury. He did get hit hard in that forearm wrist area, so he doesn't look like he's fully at 100%. He's also had some bad luck. On the Friday night game, he laced one, and Manny Machado made a phenomenal play. He's got some bad calls by the umps, but the top of this lineup needs to step up. But on a positive note, the middle and towards the bottom of this lineup is starting to heat up. They're starting to hit with more consistency. CT3, AJ Pollock, and Will Smith, they combined to go 10 for 30 in this series, hitting .333 with 2 doubles by Will Smith, a home run for AJ Pollock, a home run, and a triple for Chris Taylor. So that's definitely a positive sign. And then there's Come On, Feel the Noisy. Sheldon Noisy goes 4 for 10 with 2 home runs and 3 RBIs, and he looks like he can be a real weapon at the plate. So with Zach McKinstry out, to see Sheldon Noisy have some success this weekend, that was definitely a very positive sign. And then there's the bullpen. The bullpen did not have a good weekend for the Dodgers. The starters were stellar, the bullpen not so much. This series, Dodgers starters pitched a total of 26 innings, had 35 punch-outs, 2 walks, and allowed 8 earned runs. The Dodgers relievers, they went 12 innings pitched, had 14 strikeouts, 10 walks, and 10 earned runs. So the bullpen needs to find a way to step their game up. Yes, they're going through some injuries. Corey Knebel went down. He's going to be out for at least 2 months. And then after the game, it was reported that David Price has a hamstring injury. So they're going to need guys to step up in their absence. Guys like Brusdar Graterol really is going to have to figure it out in short order here, and they're going to need Tony Gonsolin and Joe Kelly to get back as soon as possible. Otherwise, I think the Dodgers are going to find a way to make a move to bolster this bullpen. And at some point, it really just makes you wonder, are there too many reclamation projects in this Dodger bullpen? Last night, Jimmy Nelson comes in, he blows the save, gives up 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks in that span. So LA is really going to need to to solidify this bullpen. They need guys to step up. They need guys to get healthy, and maybe they might need to make a trade at some point during this season, because we saw the Padres bullpen. They had a lot of success against Dodger hitters all weekend long. Now, the biggest positive for me over the weekend was the performance of Dustin May. A career 10 strikeouts, gave up just 1 run on 2 hits, had a walk through 6 innings of work, and he was outstanding, and you're seeing his evolution. He is becoming a superstar before our eyes. I'm telling you, Code Red is an absolute freak. He's a filth monster, and you're seeing the way he used his four-seamer. You're seeing the command improve on his fastball and the confidence in his curveball. You can really just see the growth in his maturation. His demeanor out there has changed so much in just a year. He was outstanding yesterday, and we're going to break it down. Dustin Maniac stand up. We're witnessing the evolution of a star. Look at this breaking ball in the zone for a strike. Just freezes Grisham, and that is the difference. You're still seeing the filth, but it's landing in the zone for strikes. And then a swing and a miss right here to Cronenworth, so he can still make hitters look foolish with that curveball. I'm telling you, May's stuff moves more than a military family, and now he's dominating hitters with the four-seam fastball, just throwing it by guys like you see right here. This guy's got the full arsenal of pitches to be a superstar. And 2 things really stick out for me when it comes to Dustin May. One is that strikeout percentage. Right now, it's at 37.2%. That's top 10 in all of Major League Baseball. Last season, it was at 19.6%. He's also lowered that walk rate. He's also implemented that four-seam fastball. This year, he's throwing over 18% of the time. Last season, he threw it 5.5% of the time. So his arsenal of pitches has expanded. He's a more dynamic pitcher. And if you really want to feel good about something, just know, I think the Dodgers have a future ace, a future frontline starter as their number 5 pitcher right now. The sky's the limit for Code Red. And then there's Dave Roberts. So you guys know I'm more of a Doc defender than a Doc detractor, but this was not a good weekend for Dave Roberts. Yes, he did have a full complement of arms to work with in the bullpen, but I didn't like some of the moves. I didn't like him taking out Noisy and throwing in there Edwin Rios. Edwin Rios hasn't gotten a hit since April 13th against the Colorado Rockies. He's on a 1-for-25 slump. I didn't like the move to pitch to Hosmer there in the top of the 11th. Clevenger gives up the sac fly. The Padres take the lead 8-7. Then the next batter, he strikes him out. And that was Jake Cronenworth. So I would have rather gone to Cronenworth in that situation. So bottom line is I think Dave Roberts definitely got outmanaged again by Tingler this series. And that's going to be something to look at moving forward, because we're back to NL rules. Is that going to be an issue for Dave Roberts? Well, after the game, he talked about the disappointing series against the Friars.
I think that just kind of the net is they outplayed us. All the games were close. But 7 games, they outplayed us. So that's baseball, and we got to regroup and get ready for the Reds.
So I agree with Doc. I definitely agree that the Dodgers were outplayed, but I also think they were outmanaged. There were so many opportunities to have some small ball, have Clayton Kershaw lay down that bunt, put the ball in play, and then there was also times when I just didn't like the matchups he was going with. It's 2 push buttons sometimes for Dave Roberts. You got to go on field sometimes. Just look at the Padres stealing bases. 18 stolen bases for the Friars this series. They had 5 stolen bases yesterday. You saw so many key swipe bags by Fernando Tatis Jr. You saw them executing hit and runs. I want to see the Dodgers mix it up a little and just stop relying on their slugging. I want to see a more dynamic approach from the Dodgers moving forward. And then there's Fernando Tatis Jr. My last takeaway is don't let Fernando Tatis Jr. beat you. He was 8 for 18 this series. He slugged .1278. He had 5 home runs, 6 RBIs, and 3 big stolen bases. He is their spark plug. He ignites that offense, and you can't let him get going. You can't serve him up home runs. You saw the impact it had on Friday night. You saw Saturday. They didn't win that game, but it was still a big-time moment. And then yesterday, he gets them going as well. And then there's all the theatrics for Fernando Tatis Jr. covering his one eye after the home run, doing the stutter step, taunting to Trevor Bauer. Look, I have no issue with that at all, but the Dodgers should have responded, and they should have responded with their play on the field, and for the most part, they weren't able to get it done. Now, when it comes to the looking back and the Stein stealing, look, it's an unwritten rule. At worst, he's seeing where Will Smith is set up. If Will Geno Smith thinks it's an issue. He calls a timeout. He goes up to Trevor Bauer. They change the signs. There's a way to circumvent that. But look, to me, it's like if you have a convertible and you have a PS5 in the front and you go in the store and you don't put the convertible up and you come back and you're mad that someone jacked you. No, you could have put the top up, but you didn't. So I don't really think too much about that. To me, it's a non-story. But let me know down below in the comments, who deserves the most blame for this weekend series loss to the Padres? Is it the offense? Is it the bullpen? Is it Dave Roberts' managerial miscues? I want your takes down below in the comment section. And also, do you have an issue with Fernando Tatis Jr. looking back at the catcher? Do you have an issue with his antics after hitting a home run? And then lastly, do you think that Dustin May is going to be a superstar starting pitcher? Give me a Y for yes or give me an N for no down below in the comment section. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMAC_LA. For all things Dodger baseball, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you want to see even more Dodgers content, smash that like button. For all the latest Dodgers Nation merch, head over to GearUp.LA. Some of the best Dodger t-shirt designs in the game you're going to find right over there at GearUp.LA. For all the latest Dodgers news, head over to DodgersNation.com. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.